morning and welcome to Weekly Insights with John Plassard. In the first quarter 2024, the total amount of debt around the world reached a staggering $315 trillion, which is an all-time high. Debt is the money that countries, companies, and individuals borrow and need to pay back, usually with interest. This huge number means that globally, debt is more than 3 times the total value of all goods and services produced, which is measured by something called the GDP. Over just the first 3 months of 2024, the debt grew by $1.3 trillion. The biggest contributors to this growing debt are countries like the United States and Japan, which borrowed a lot of money. In developing countries such as China, India, and Mexico, borrowing has also increased. Since the pandemic started, global debt has jumped by 21%, adding over $54 trillion to the total. The largest chunk of this debt comes from businesses that aren't in the financial industry. They owe $94 trillion. Governments owe almost as much, with $91 trillion in debt. Financial companies and regular households also owe a lot, with debts of $70 trillion and $59 trillion respectively. Because of all this borrowing, many countries are finding it harder to pay back their debts. In the United States, for example, the cost of paying interest on its debt is now higher than what the country spends on defense. This means that the US government might need to raise taxes or cut spending to manage its debt better, but so far, there is no clear plan for Kamala Harris or Donald Trump. In countries that are still developing, the situation is even more difficult. High debt and slow economic growth means these countries might have to renegotiate their debt because they can't afford to keep borrowing. Many of these countries haven't fully recovered from the pandemic, with the incomes still lower than they were in 2019. Over the last decade, debt in these developing countries has risen by $55 trillion, reaching a record high of $105 trillion, making it a tough challenge for them to handle their finances. The next question will be whether to write off some of the world's debt, or at least the debt of certain emerging countries which will never be able to pay it back. Thank you very much. Have a great week. Stay safe and keep on winning.